What up? It's your girl, 𝑉𝒐𝒌, aka Melanated Dope. Come on in the room. Pull up on your girl. Hi, it is Mercury Day. I love Mercury Day. So Wednesday aligns with the planet Mercury, and Mercury is all about communication. Look at me communicating and reading to you guys. Okay, on Mercury Day we activate that throat chakra. Okay, and we talk and we commune and we be a community and we tell people, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. One time for the one time. Hey boo, how are you, Peanut? Anyway, so yeah. Sorry it's been a few days. The moon was doing what the moon needed to do. Okay, and so now that we are in the thick of this full moon in Pisces energy, honey, with this partial lunar eclipse, honey, it is. I'm just gonna say it's done what it needed to do, and I'm probably gonna go live today because I've been wanting to get back to Spirit Chat and Rich Rising and getting back into Spirit Chats, going live and stuff, and giving y'all the teas on spirit and what we could do and whatnot. But I just been doing other things. So, but she here. We are currently reading the book of Juju by 𝑗ujubei. Okay. This is a beautiful book about Africana spirituality for healing, liberation. Okay, freeing our people and self-discovery. Okay. I often tell a lot of people how it wasn't until I became more spiritually fortified and consistent with my spiritual practice that all of my other things started to fall into place. Hold on, y'all. Let me go cut this off because I just feel like it's a little loud. Okay. And that might just be my mind. Anyway. All right. So, yeah. So, a lot of times, because Western medicine always want to drug us up and always want to give things their very whitewashed way of thinking when it comes to mental instabilities. However, when I got my shit together spiritually, my mental started to get right too. Okay? And now that the spirit and the mental are aligned, I'm getting the physical together. Okay? So with this full moons are really good for releasing. I started a detox. Yeah, this detox is supposed to be the catalyst into me becoming more plant-based, living on a more plant-based life. Because when I say a more plant-based life, this, you can read between the lines, this will not be, totally plant-based. Let me put my phone do not stir. Hold on, y'all. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so I won't be fully plant-based, you know what I'm saying? Because I love seafood. However, in all things you do, you must do those things in moderation. Okay? So yeah, and also clean eating. So I'm gonna have to up the amount of money I spend on the meats. Okay? Gonna get those, you know what I'm saying, those more expensive things. We know that the way that this society is rigged is that they don't want to make healthy. They don't want us to afford to live. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we are doing all that we can to live a more holistic life that includes growing a lot of the things that we eat. Okay. But yeah, so I'm in the thick of this detox, and I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I am starving. Okay. I'm gonna dip down in front of y'all. I'll show y'all all my titties. I am starving. However, I gotta see this through. So anyway, getting into the book. again, we are reading the book of Juju by it's 𝑗uju_bae, and I have just really been enjoying reading this book to you because I bought the book and was like, I haven't read it. Okay, what up, Harmony? How are you, boo? So I was like, it's cool. I don't have to read by myself. I'm gonna read to y'all, and so we're all experiencing this beautiful work together. Okay, so yeah, so the last chapter, chapter 9, was what did we do? We did shared values, which was chapter 8. Oh, go back and fetch it. Yes. So chapter 9 is all about going back, looking at your roots, unburying your dead, okay, knowing your history, going back and fetching it. Sankofa. That's the meaning of Sankofa, going back and getting the things that you need, okay? See, she got this beautiful Adinkra symbol. Let's see. What else? But yeah, please go get your own copy of this book. You have the book. Yay! I'm on chapter 10. We are on chapter 10. So glad you got the book. So yeah, let's get into it then. Because the book is very important. I just feel like anybody is. I'm not new to this. You know what I'm saying? However, I still find myself learning something every day because we know that this journey is not linear. It ain't one way. You're not gonna know everything in one sitting. You're gonna always be learning. If you're not always learning, you're not always growing. And anything that is not growing, my nigga, is dead. Okay? Okay? And we're not talking about just physical death. We're talking about mental deaths. Okay? Spiritual deaths. Yeah? All right. Well, let's get into it. Come on, baby. I'm a little guy, baby. All right. Babe. Put the light back on. Thank you. Because this light is good for me to be seen, but I need that light to breathe. Yeah. Thank you, babe. All right. Can we talk for a minute? Ancestral communication. Every single person is called to their ancestors or ancestral practices in some way. Although not everyone is a psychic, conjure person, or priest, the ancestors move in all our lives and seek to grow closer to us through the ways that work with each individual person. Everyday communion is a conversation with spirit. When the wind blows, it is spirit activating us and telling a story about the sky or the atmosphere in that moment. The moon phases tell us a story based on the ancestral knowledge that has been passed down from the ancient times, telling us what actions are more or less beneficial during each phase. All this is spirit communication, and all of it is something that you've engaged with, whether you realize it or not. Okay? Yes. Those little inklings that you be feeling, the little tingles when you smell something, when the wind blows, it's all spirit. Spirit is constantly talking and moving all around us. I'm telling you, you just gotta tap in. But that's what we're doing. I think that the growth of ancestral magic and traditional knowledge has created a kind of glamour around the art. Although these traditions are old, they have also become very trendy as more people start to understand how accurate and life-changing they can be. And I think it is I'm sorry. And I think it is good that more and more people are understanding their ancestral medicines, as I believe the ancestors are working hard on the other side for this. Yet a downside to the constant publicity is that it can make us feel like we have to be actively doing spells or workings. I'm sorry, spells or workings. What was I? And always be at the altar in order to be seen as valuable or even practitioners of this faith. Many of us feel that we must try to read tarot cards or bones to be seen as a better Black person, more connected to Africa and our sense of self. And there is an influx of people publicly sharing recipes, online altars, and other sacred and special tools, which makes us feel that we should do that too. But I am here to tell you that each of us has our own boundaries around what is proper information to be shared. You do not have to be an outward facing spiritualist or even a spiritualist at all to live a good life or achieve great wonders. We are not all witches. We are not all psychics. We are not all priests. Although it can look fun and glamorous to have these identities, the reality is often not what is portrayed on social media. Remember that some of our ancestors were conjure doctors, and the majority of our ancestors sought the conjure doctor. But there are places throughout the world where these practices or aspects of them are illegal and can be punishable by law, such as Cameroon and Jamaica, because obia is illegal in Jamaica. Like, they do not allow them to do any of their ancestral practices. And it's fucking 2024 and it is still illegal. That is crazy. Even divination was punishable in Baltimore, North Carolina, Minnesota, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin until very recently. Every single person was not nor should have been a priestess working the roots or blessing people in the water. Of course, these practitioners may have been more accessible back in the day, and perhaps it was more commonplace to be familiar with spiritual traditions of the ancestors before the advent of Christianity. But even then, not every person was necessarily as active as the actual practitioner themselves. We are all called to commune with spirit in different ways, and no way is better or more important than the other. Okay, she got some questions down here. So she says, what do you think about the growth of sharing ancestral knowledge and spiritual traditions in the media? Okay, I don't really have a big issue about it. I just don't like the fakery. That's it. I don't like the charlatans. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't have an issue with it. I feel like it can still be shared and still be gate kept because certain people need to mind their business. I don't know any other way to say it. Hoodoo is a black tradition, and if you are not black, if you cannot trace now nigga in your immediate ancestry, I'm just being serious. This is not your walk, okay? However, everybody has their own thing, you know what I'm saying? And I just want everybody to find their thing and do it, okay? So yeah, that's me things. What are some of the pros? Some of the pros is that it's attracting people. More people are saying, hey, she, he, they look like me. They think like me. I really need, you know what I'm saying? And I really want to be not necessarily like them, but I want to be more in tune with spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how people gonna know that regular schmegular niggas can do this in the privacy of their own home, that you don't have to show up on the internet. You ain't gotta tell nobody what you're doing. What you do at home is for you. But see, I'm a bold bitch. I don't have no problem with saying this is what I do. I don't have no problem with leading my niggas to the water. I can't make y'all drink, but I don't mind leading. You know what I'm saying? However, the con to that is having to consistently show up. That's one. Two, again, the people who be stealing, the people who do not belong in these traditions, thinking that, oh, well, if they're out here just doing whatever, I can do it too. It doesn't belong to you though. Stop what you're doing. Again, if you cannot trace a nigga in your line, this hoodoo shit is not for you, baby. And we're making this shit black again. Okay? Do you believe there's a way to maintain a balance of secrecy and accessibility? Yes. By saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like a lot of people like Mama Yana, Mama Rue. Okay, these are people that I know have been in tradition for decades. You know what I'm saying? Yay, Louisa Tish, the Queen Poe. These are all outwardly, well, Mama Rue has taken us a sabbatical from the internet. I haven't seen her on the internet in a while. However, like, there's just a way to do everything. This is why secret societies are a thing. You know what I'm saying? But the gag is, like, don't nobody be like we need to become more like the Eastern Stars and the Masons, because don't nobody be questioning them. But as soon as we start talking about our spiritual traditions and practices, and then niggas is up in arms. Okay. I just remembered that I did that. Nope, I didn't. Oh well, it don't matter. I don't need it. But yeah, so I do believe that there's a way to maintain a balance of secrecy and accessibility. But the first thing is that we gotta gatekeep. We gotta put our foot down and say, hey, this ain't for you. You don't belong here. Don't come here. We gotta stop inviting everybody to the motherfucking cookout. Okay? Yeah, I got friends. I got friends of all flavors. However, those friends of the other flavors understand that everything that I do is not for them. They come to me and I send them right to my homegirl. You know what I'm saying? Because my homegirl is a witch. I'm a hoodoo. She's a witch. You hear what I'm saying? We have our practices where they kind of intertwine. And what she can't, when she get black people, she send me all of them. You see what I'm saying? That's how it can happen. Anyway, moving on. Next section. Types of gifts. Because of our society, we tend to value only physical sensory experiences that can be explained empirically. Okay? That means the empire. That means colonization. So when you tell someone you do ancestral or spiritual work, they may say something like, so you see and talk to spirits? Cool. This exclamation is quite harmless, as many spiritualists may have this gift, but it not only points to the lack of understanding that we have about the wide array of possible spiritual gifts that exist, but also excludes the sensory experiences that may have more to do with intuition or gut feelings than sight and sound. Not everyone is a full-on medium who can see the future and chat with spirits like you would with a friend or colleague. Like me, I don't see spirits. Okay, that's not my ministry. I don't see spirits, but what I do hear. You know what I'm saying? I can hear things, I can feel, and I can smell. But the sight, I don't see spirits. Okay. Where we at? Not everyone is full on medium who can see the future and chat with spirits like you would with a friend or colleague. I do know people who are very skilled mediums in that way, but I know even more people who do not have the gift of clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is the ability to visualize spirits or perceive visual events that extend beyond the normal sensory measures. Is only one way to engage with spirits. Let's look at some different forms of gifts that I have often come across during my years as an active reader and psychic. Clairvoyance. Let's start with the extrasensory ability that most people associate with mediumship. Clairvoyance is the ability to see spirits or events in one's mind's eye, or in the physical form that may not be visible to others. Clairvoyance is an intuitive sight practice that I've seen exercised through the medium being able to see beyond the physical world, which can include entities as well as past, present, or future events, deceased humans, and other dimensions. Some people, such as myself, experience a more intense form of clairvoyance during slumber. Not everyone clairvoyant can see dead people like you may see other objects. Sometimes they may only see the visual in their mind's eye or intuitively. Some mediums cannot differentiate real humans from dead ones because their gift is so strong. Some people may refer to clairvoyance as ESP or extrasensory perception. Claircognizance. The gift of claircognizance seems most common among the readers and psychics I know. Claircognizance is a form of intuitive knowing that occurs when the medium or channel can access thoughts or psychic information without any previous information. Claircognizance is knowing that your best friend has started dating her ex again, even though she hasn't revealed that information to you yet. Claircognizance is our brain's way of being in tune with our surroundings that gives us spiritual insight into the events. I think a lot of the women in my family have this gift. They just be knowing shit, okay? Hi y'all. Some new people came in. Hey y'all. Clairsentience. Clairsentience is a kind of intuitive feelings. It is a psychic sense that you may experience when you just feel like you understand the emotions, feelings, motives, or happenings of the spaces around you. An example of this might be a feeling of something doesn't seem right about going to that party tonight, so I'm not going. There is no presentation of information and you don't have a clear knowing, but it just doesn't sit or feel right with you. This is a form of clairsentience, and I find it a very underutilized psychic ability that not enough people seek to understand or even listen to. I believe clairsentience to be one of the most important gifts that we can have. I think if more people trusted and interrogated their feelings and saw them as valid, we could avoid a lot of chaos. Yes, we could. Empaths, or those who can feel the emotions of others, can be considered clairsentient beings. Clairaudience. Clairaudience is the gift of clear or intuitive hearing. This occurs when you hear sounds, music, words, or communication that exists only in the spiritual or psychic planes. Many spirits like to talk, and someone with this gift may hear their voices, including inflections, accents, and tones. There are, of course, varying degrees of clairaudience, and one way that I've experienced it is through hearing music in my head. I often hear complete songs playing in my head, often with lyrics, and quickly voice record the music into my phone so that I don't forget. This is one of the ways that I write music, although it is hardly writing as much as it is recording the sounds that I believe my ancestors and spirits are sharing with me. The clairaudient person may also hear screaming, crying, or laughing, or perceive background noises that can tell a story about the surroundings of the spirit they may be connecting with. Clairalience. A person with clairalience can clearly or intuitively smell without there being a physical source of that smell. Have you ever gotten a whiff of perfume or another distinctive scent that reminds you of a deceased loved one, yet you are nowhere near anything that would smell like that? This is a sign that you experience clairalience. Often, when I smell a certain kind of cigarette smoke, I know that my pop is around. Certain smells connect us to past memories or experiences. Clear smell can even aid in understanding the usage of certain herbs or roots just based on their smells. I also believe that people who have this gift are more likely to pursue career paths that necessitate strong senses of smell like chefs, um, sommeliers, and perfumers. I don't know that one. I'm going to have to go back and look that up. Clairgustance. This is such an amazing gift and one of my favorite ones to experience during my ancestral readings. Clairgustance is clear or intuitive taste. I love this gift because I find that ancestors let me know certain foods that they would like as an offering by having me taste them. At one point, I was vegetarian in my spiritual practice, and although I did not miss meat, I realized I was constantly tasting chicken. I learned later that through my spiritual studies that my ancestors were requesting an offering of chicken. So they put that taste in my mouth so I could make some for them. This gift is really fun when I'm reading people of different cultures because I often experience tastes of unfamiliar spices, drinks, and cuisine not native to me. I enjoy physically trying new foods and getting to describe what I'm tasting to my clients, who often know exactly what I'm referring to. Clairgustance may also show up as the ability to understand clear psychic information through tasting various foods. For example, if you eat a piece of cake and can understand information about the baker who made it simply based on how it tastes, you may be a clairgustant. Clairtangency. Clairtangency is the ability to touch objects and others and learn information about them without prior knowledge. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Did y'all ever see that show back in like the early 2000s, The Dead Zone? He would be clairtangency because he used to touch people and then he'd just go off into their memories. Okay, Chanel. So that means that your sister is just letting you know that she is always with you. And if you are interested, you should start your ancestral veneration and put her picture up, a little bowl of water and a white candle, and just have a conversation with her. But if you're not in a space where you can do any of that, just start acknowledging her and saying, hey sis, and just talk to her. Okay? But yeah, Dead Zone, clairtangency. That was my show. I really enjoyed that show. Clairtangency is the ability to touch objects or others and learn information about them without prior knowledge. Often people can touch relics or even heirlooms and spontaneously gain information about their previous owners, or they take on the life story of the object. Remember, everything has a soul or spirit, and clear touch allows one to understand that spirit through direct physical contact. This gift comes in handy around old buildings, which can be conduits for pinpointing moments in history based on the structure's energy. This gift is also referred to as psychometry. Psychometry. Mediumship. All the above gifts can be forms of mediumship, but more specifically, mediumship is the ability to communicate with entities that exist beyond the physical world. Mediums often communicate with the dead as a means of sharing messages with the living. Mediums operate within the liminal space that separates the physical world and spiritual world and can get clear insights, thoughts, ideas, and communication from the beyond. Dreams or dream travel. This is also something I do. I don't dream travel anymore. I remember when I was a kid, I used to astral travel all the time. Didn't know that that's what it was until I became grown, right? But now I just be dreaming about everything. My girlfriend, she dreamed. Honey, she been on a whole journey in her dreams with her ancestors. So you know what I'm saying? Like the dead is, they knocking. They like, hey, I'm here. We're here. We're here to protect you. We're here to guide you. Okay, so if you've been dreaming about certain people, okay, if you have certain ancestors that pop up constantly, them are your guardian angels. For real, for real. Well, let me pause. Because some of them might just want to be venerated and they weren't shit. Now, if it's some ain't shit ancestors, tell them to take a seat in the back. Tell them to get the fuck on. Okay? I'm just saying, because if they weren't shit in the living, I promise you they still ain't shit in the dead. I'm just being real. But yeah, if you are dreaming about any of your dead folks, okay, it's time to get to work. The gift of dreaming or dream travel is a common one that runs in my family, particularly among the women. The gift of dreaming is the ability to exercise one's gift as a medium while asleep. Dreams may be prophetic, provide information about particular individuals, and even be a way to connect with spirits and departed loved ones. In our sleep, we tend to be much more open and vulnerable to spiritual happenings and thus have clearer channels to the world that is beyond the physical. The old saying about dreaming of fish, meaning someone is pregnant, is a form of intuitive dreaming that points to information one would not have known. My grandmother has seen things in her dreams that I haven't told anyone in my family. My mother dreams of old friends and issues they may be going through. When you come from a family like mine, you can't hide a damn thing. Dream travel is the ability to freely move to other places, dimensions, and even centuries to gather psychic information. Spirits often take us on journeys during our resting hours where we are not physically able to travel during our waking hours. Telepathy. Telepathy is the ability to communicate with others using your mind. It is the ability to read and share thoughts with others without physical communication. I see everyday telepathy at work when friends call each other at the same time, or when I wish that a person would reach out to me and they do immediately. Oh yeah, me and my girlfriend call it mental telepathy because sometimes she finishes my sentences. Sometimes I don't even have to tell her; she just be knowing, and I love her for that. Okay, people who are often connected very closely, like twins, friends, close siblings, and even parents, exercise this psychic gift with one another on a regular basis. Possession. Possession, sometimes called mounting or being lost in the spirit, is a special ability that allows a host to be separated from their own body, while spirits or other entities take over, take over, take over their action, movements, voice, and even thoughts. Church folks call it catching the Holy Ghost. Okay, that's all it is. It's spiritual possession. It's catching the Holy Ghost. Possession is an altered state of consciousness that often renders people completely unaware of their actions. This is because they are simply not in control while in that state. Although, oh my God. Oh my God, I gotta hit my brother up. Although possession is often used as a scary term from an Africana perspective, it is a common means of communicating with ancestral spirits. There are hundreds of ceremonies, most notably taking place in Africa or the Caribbean, when ancestral spirits are called to possess certain individuals in order to bring forth messages to the community or attendees of the ceremony. Bembes are common ceremonies within the Orisha communities in which drummers use specific beats corresponding to different Orishas, summoning them to come down and essentially possess individuals as a part of the ceremony. Specific dances are also performed and offerings are set to make their stay enjoyable. Bembes are generally very positive experiences, although the one who is possessed by the Orisha may experience some physical discomfort. Another method of possession is catching the Holy Ghost. Okay, see, I told y'all. Catching the Holy Ghost in Pentecostal church settings. This common practice allows people to open themselves to the spirit of the Holy Ghost, which can result in erratic movements and even speaking in tongues. This is a very powerful gift that must be protected and is held in high regard. Some people refer to those who have the gift of possession as mediums, but it depends on the spiritual framework of the tradition. Okay, so y'all seen as I was reading possession that I had got this little thought. So my bruh, right? My bruh has this form of epilepsy where, and this is not my blood brother, this is not my little brother, this is my homie. Okay, so my homie has this particular form of epilepsy where he just blanks out. That's it. Like he still be moving, he still be talking and everything, but he has no clue of what is going on. And as soon as I started reading that, I saw him. So now I got to hit that nigga up and be like, bro, let's dig. Cause what? That makes so much sense. Because at the top of this live, I mentioned that a lot of our mental instabilities that the Western world, a lot of the things that they diagnose as mental instabilities and diseases really just be us needing to get our spiritual shit together. And I wonder if that's what's up, my bro. Now I gotta call that nigga. I'm gonna do that after this. Okay. Let me write that down. Dang. How could I not put my notebook right here? Found something. Give me a second, y'all. Because if I don't write it down, I'm gonna forget. Okay, and we're gonna get right on back into this book. I'm telling you, She really need a Pulitzer for this one, baby. Okay. All right. Using your gifts. All these gifts are one small piece of your connection with ancestors and other spirits. Remember that the abilities mentioned above are not a requisite for ancestor connection. There are other ways in which people intentionally work with their ancestors that may include some, none, or the gifts mentioned earlier. Not every person who has deep relationships with their ancestors even has one. And there are many working priests, elders, and skilled practitioners who do not identify as psychic or carry any of these gifts either. Some people are griots or storytellers who share information about the past through folklore and historical narratives, intentionally bringing the ancestors through to the present time. Some folks, such as herbalists, work with plant matter and roots to be able to conjure and create medicines through their relationships with sustaining flora, like many of our ancestors had to. Some folks, such as doulas, serve as the entry point for new life, ushering beings from the spiritual realm onto the earth. Their role is to care for returned ancestors as they enter the earthly plane for their new journey. Others use their skills and learn the science behind divination so that they can understand responses from their spirits. Diviners do not necessarily have psychic gifts, but they understand forms of communication through spiritual tools such as cards, bones, shells, or kola nuts. Writers conjure, artists map worlds that see in or dream. Oh, I'm sorry. Writers conjure, artists map worlds that they see and or dream about from their spiritual downloads. Dancers channel something greater than themselves to move their bodies to beats. These are all spiritual gifts that can allow us to be in tune with our senses of self, which are our ancestors. There is a saying I've heard that goes, "You are your first altar." And I believe that rings true as we navigate our lives as active spiritualists or everyday people, making our lives the ritual in itself. Yes, you are your first altar. So as I was saying earlier, if you don't have room, space, if you live with people who are going to be like, oh my God, you're worshiping the devil. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It is okay. You pour your water, pour your water at the base of a tree, drink the water, okay? Adorn yourself in the perfume, if you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, feed yourself the things that the ancestors want. You know what I'm saying? Take better care of yourself. Okay, because by taking better care of yourself, you are honoring your ancestors. See, when you are out of alignment of who you are and whose you are, when you aren't praying, when you aren't fasting, when you aren't being a good parent, when you aren't being a good friend, so on and so forth, you dishonor your ancestors who were good people. Okay, yeah. So by living your life, okay, to the highest standard of your Ori, that's your head, your higher self, you honor your ancestors. Okay, I just had to throw that out there. She got a couple of questions here. Let's see. What's left? Oh, we got a good little bit left in this chapter. Not a good little bit, like 4 or 5 pages. Go get through it though. Okay. Which spiritual gifts stand out to you the most and why? Okay. I would say my dreams. Me that is the most prevalent spiritual gift that I have. A lot of times when people, oh, I try seeing my baby. A lot of times when people don't tell me something, I dream about it. It don't matter who the people is. When I ain't never told nobody this, but when I used to work for the prison, I had a supervisor at Hancock that really did not like me. Oh, that nigga hated my guts. But anyway, before I had to catch out of that job, me and him had it out. I had dreamed about this falling out between me and him. Okay, I distinctly dreamt of it. I knew that I was about to catch out, and I didn't quit. Um, it took me like another year before I quit after this incident, but I dreamt about it. I knew when man, it was so crazy. But anyway, so my dreams is my most powerful gift. Which gift or gifts do you feel come naturally to you? Dreaming, and also, I don't know, like I sometimes I do just be knowing. So that's one that comes naturally. I'll be in a store. Since I've been home, people who know me and see me, and I'll be like, "How you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Because I feel something coming off of them, and I be trying not to be nosy. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, what up, Ryan? What up, Mr. Melanated Voice? I try not to be too nosy. Like, if you do not ask me, you know what I'm saying? We ain't like that. I ain't gonna dig. But if we like that, we'll be in the middle of Walmart and I'll be all in your business spiritually. And I cannot help that because if I love you, if I fuck with you, I want to know, how can I help you? How can I change? You know what I'm saying? How can we transmute whatever it is you're going through? If I feel it, I'm gonna speak on it. And that's if I know you like that. But the rest of y'all, when I be feeling something on you, I shake it off because it ain't mine. Okay. Which gifts would you like to develop or explore more? All of them. I am not gonna hold you. Like, when I say I would like, I want to be able to do all things. I want to be able to touch things and get that feeling. I want to be able I just want to be able to do things. I can, like I said, I can already smell things. I have the dreams. I be hearing the ringing and sometimes little whispers. I want to strengthen all of it. I am going to strengthen all of it. Okay. How do you see yourself using your gifts in your daily life? Baby, I'm trying to win the lottery. I cannot hold you. Nah. But in all seriousness, I just want to live a better life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all, my life has gotten so much better as I've been furthering my connection with spirit. Okay? And you can do it too. I want it, but I have some fear of how powerful I really am. See, and you have got to release that fear, Harmony. Full moon in Pisces. Pisces. Okay, so dang, I can't get on it. Can I get on it? I should have printed it out. So y'all know the girl, the Queen Poe, okay? Goddess. I love her. I'm in her Patreon, but y'all know she goes live with every full moon and new moon and gives all of the astrology teas. So right now, the full moon is in Pisces. Pisces is all about your intuition, your psychic gifts, honey. Okay? So release that. Use this full moon to release that fear. You are a black woman. You are a goddess. You are powerful, honey. It don't matter. It don't matter how powerful you can get. Get there. Okay? We need you. I'm just saying. Also, Neptune, which is the planet of dream, I think it's retrograde in Pisces. Don't quote me. I had to pull it up to see. But yeah. So do your spiritual work, y'all. Like, you deserve to be tapped in. You deserve all of this. It is your birthright. Literally. It is how you were born. It is what you were born with. Excuse me, y'all. I'm really trying not to have my boots. I love this dress. I'll be so comfortable in it. All right. Come on, so we can get through the book, y'all. You're worthy, always. Worthy, always. Oh, you listen to the clip? Yes, please go watch the full video. Because she goes deep. And then if you got $5 to spare a month, join her Patreon. It ain't nothing but $5. We do book clubs. Right now, I think we're on Heal Thyself. But I haven't been following with the book clubs. There's a chat where everybody just be dropping information, dropping links, pictures. We be celebrating each other. And it's like 300 deep in that community. And the queen, she interacts with us all the time. So yeah, if you got them extra $5 to spare, please go join her Patreon. Okay. Answer those questions. Let's get it. As you can see, there are plenty of spiritual gifts and some that extend even beyond this list, as these forms of communication can help us better understand how our ancestors, y'all, why every time when it be a bunch of owl sounds I really be getting tongue tied. Okay, how our ancestors may be communicating with us. Not everyone will hear them directly, but if any of these gifts stood out to you in a particular way, perhaps that is your clairsentience kicking in, and it's time to take a look at how to explore your gifts more deeply. I can confidently say that every person has the capacity to home in and channel at least one of these gifts. Okay, at least one. I believe that humans innately carry gifts of intuition and feelings, but they may have been downplayed because of a lack of acceptance for the unseen. This is especially true of people who descended from those who have experienced intense generational trauma where intuition was not always welcomed or useful in surviving daily life. This had a very real impact on our ability to connect spiritually. When we become more open to understanding the messages and using our gifts, we can better our lives in ways our ancestors could not. In fact, we believe that when we believe that we do not receive spiritual downloads from our ancestors or that we are not gifted, sometimes we just have not identified that it's spirit talking in the first place. How do I know if it's my ancestors or my own brain? Is a common question I often get from people trying to make headway in their spiritual journey, and even from those who have been in the game for a while. Pause. I do that all the time. Like sometimes I'll get a little inklings, and then I'll be like, "No, this is me overthinking," and then I'll hear something say, "No, girl, listen to me." Okay, and I'll be like, or sometimes I'll ask spirit, God, ancestors. I'll be like, "Hey, y'all, I need a little clarity on this thing." Is you know what I'm saying? Um, Sometimes I'll be like, okay, if that's the way that I'm supposed to go, show me a butterfly sometime today, or you know what I'm saying. And then when I see, or whatever it is, when I see that thing, or I hear that thing, or if something comes back around, then I know. You know what I'm saying? But typically, I do have to hear it at least 3 times for me to be like, oh, okay, that was spirit, and that was for me. Okay, I lost my space. It's easy to second guess your intuition, especially when you've got a thing called anxiety or other strains on your mental health that can make it complicated for you to trust the accuracy of your own voice. As someone who has struggled with severe anxiety and depression, my own negative voice can often overpower the intuitive feelings that my spirits are sharing with me. It can be challenging, but it is not impossible. One way to investigate if what you are experiencing is a negative thought or your spirits is to pay attention to what happens after you get this feeling. Do you become anxious or scared, interrogating yourself with more questions and beginning to second guess yourself? Or did the information simply ring true, coming through without a flood or of additional emotion? For example, say you have a roommate whom you need to discuss some household boundaries with, but you're nervous that it might disrupt your relationship even further. On the day of the conversation, you have the feeling, I shouldn't have the conversation with my roommate today. Where did that feeling come from? Are there any sensations in your body? Was it that you were thinking of everything that could go wrong in the conversation, so you decided not to talk to them? Ooh. Or does that feeling simply feel not right or grounded in your body? Although you although you may not be looking forward to having this hard conversation, tomorrow is actually a better day for it, as your roommate is usually more happy on Fridays. Pay attention to your bodily responses first. And then if the potential download comes with a bunch of additional feelings and worries alongside it, that might be your anxiety, sweetie pie. I've also heard people describe their ancestors or intuition as an "it is what it is" or "I said what I said" energy. It comes through as a strong whisper and again is not attached to a bunch of anxiety or double doubt or self-doubt. When when you know, you know. And when you don't know, seek confirmation. Understanding confirmation of spirit may take you some time, but pay attention not only to your body, but also to what may be going on around you. For example, an intuitive download that you're trying to decipher will come with a sense of knowing from something around you or within you. You may feel particularly you may feel particularly sure, or the environment tells you that what you heard is true, like a loud thunderclap or a person sneezing. It could be, or my stomach just grumbled. Oh wow, that was crazy. It could be it could be a bird that flies by that feels like a great omen, or someone compliments your hair and you feel a rush of joy. Don't get too in your head about this process. Just know that information will be confirmed for you within that moment or later. Didn't I say that? I told y'all I'd just be like, it's gonna come. Yeah. Just give me the clarification, spirit. Yep. That's all you gotta do. Be like, wait, just give me some clarification. Spirit wants to be sure that you understand, so the message will repeat itself if you miss it the first time. Okay. If you miss it the first time, Spirit like, all right, I got you. Run that thing back. Readings and divination. As mentioned in earlier chapters, readings are great ways to understand the messages from your ancestors when you're struggling to understand their communication. Sometimes, even when we do have strong psychic senses, readings help give us clarity, as sometimes we need to hear a message from another person. As a reader and psychic myself, I absolutely love readings and I find them extremely crucial in my own spiritual journey. Yes, Jujube is the reason why I started reading cards. She is like Jujube. I told y'all like every like she's the one that taught me. So once when I seen how it was done and I started doing research and I put them cards in my hand, I was like, oh yeah, this is me. Now, what I mean by cards, I mean playing cards. I have yet to truly learn tarot. It's just I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get it one day, but tarot, that's just I need to go to school for tarot for real. Okay, shout out to Big Empress Energy who has her own tarot school. I may be joining that very soon. Okay. All right, so where were we? Sometimes, even when we do have strong psychic senses, readings help us help give us clarity, or sometimes we need to hear a message from another person. As a reader and psychic myself, I absolutely love readings and find them extremely crucial in my own spiritual journey. Sometimes other readers can use their messages to give us clarity on our own thoughts and even ideas or spiritual concepts that we may have missed. Seeking a good reader can be such a pleasant experience, and a good reader helps you to feel confident that you're tending to your spirits properly and can help us to learn to trust ourselves. There are many different kinds of readings that one can receive, and they all have different methods of communication. Some people are psychics, or those who speak directly to spirits and channel their words and thoughts to you. Others may be better diviners, meaning they use a specific tool such as bones, obi, and coins, and methodology to interpret this spirit communication. Some people are gifted in reading messages through objects like tea leaves or water scrying. Regardless of the method used, we always have the option of receiving readings for valuable insight. Readings within an African and diasporic context do tend to come with homework or other prescriptions in order to shift the energies around you for better outcomes. For example, after a card reading from a hoodoo conjurer, they may prescribe a specific working for you to help your dreams come to fruition. You may need to light a candle or take a spiritual bath in order to reap your personal benefits. There may even be a calling for sacrifice of an animal that the skilled practitioner should take part in on your behalf. Many Africana-centered readings will be sure to give you work that must be done in order to achieve what you are seeking, and or should not leave you feeling more confused or without the proper resources. My first reading, like many people's, was through tarot cards. Although I've had great tarot card readings from Black readers, if they're not rooted in an ancestral spiritual practice, they may only tell me what is likely to happen for me or things to watch out for, but not give me any homework. In an Orisha reading, for example, I will hear what is likely to happen, what to be aware of, but also rituals, sacrifices, or offerings will most likely be required. I'm sorry, y'all, my tongue started itching. I ain't done that. Wow. These rituals have their own cost separate from the reading itself. I prefer readings that give me active tools to use, but all readings have a time and place. Be aware of scammers. Okay? Be aware of the scammers, the charlatans, who tend to rush to social media to DM you about a message from spirit that they must tell you that tends to come with a price tag. A good reader never solicits clients or tries to scare them into getting a reading with threats of bad omens. Never have I ever or will I ever slide in your DM and be like, Spirit told me this. Unless you are a family member or a very close friend, okay? And then, you know what I'm saying, you know me. But other than that, like, if we ain't like tight and close, I would never do that. And so if you ever see anybody slide in your DM with a name that looked like mine and my picture, it's not me, 9 times out of 10. Okay? And I actually had somebody that did that. Levon said, look, mama, we made it. I was like, I tripped out because, yes, I feel like, yeah, you make it when they start trying to emulate you, when they start trying to steal your content. Okay, look, mama, we making it. Oh, no, fuck that nigga. I was finna say nigga, we made it, but nope. All right, so where we at? I've seen readings range from $10 to $300, but I've heard of readings costing into the thousands of dollars. Again, I cannot speak about anyone else's gifts, but use your intuition and common sense to be sure that the pricing makes sense to you. If you are interested in getting a reading, there are a few things to consider in order to be sure you are going to the right person for you. Okay? Questions to ask before getting a reading. Was this reader recommended to me? Do they have any clients that I could speak to or have public client testimony? Did they solicit me as a client? Hint, this is a big no-no. Okay? How long have they been practicing their craft? What spiritual practice are they rooted in, if any? What method do they use to communicate with spirit? E.g., tarot, palm reading, shells, playing cards, bones, oracle decks, mediumship. What spirits do they consult with? E.g., their spirit guides, ancestors, angels, specific deities, their intuition. Do they have a specialty? Think great at love readings or court case workings. Okay? Do you like their vibe? You will not like every single reader you meet, and this does not mean they are not a great reader, but it does mean that they may not be the best reader for you. This is about your process this is about your process and your personality. Take your readings seriously. They can be fun and interesting, but have a but I'm sorry. They can be fun and interesting, but having a reading means someone gaining access to your psychic imprint in this lifetime, and that's a big deal. Proceed with curiosity and an open mind, but also sensible caution. Trust your gut and do your research. And if your reader seems like they're not for you, know that there are plenty of others out there who can help you. Okay? Because I know, honey, that I am not everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. Because I'm definitely the next person's shot of tequila. Okay? Okay? Or a little sip of water to refresh them. Whatever it may be. I ain't got to be, I'm not for everybody, and everybody ain't for me. And that is okay. Okay? That is safe. That is good. That's called having boundaries. Get you some. Last, in the case of readings, it is important to take heed to the information and follow the instructions given to you by your reader. If you have been instructed to take a spiritual bath, you should take it. I always say that the most important part of this process is not the reading itself, but deciding what you will do with the information provided. Do not become a reading addict. I did that, y'all. I used to look at like multiple readers, like the ones on YouTube. And now it's just like every now and then I'm like, okay, I just want to hear them. Mostly I just read for myself. Yes. Do not become a reading addict, addicted to learning more from your spirits, but never putting their advice into practice. It's easy to want to rely on our ancestors or spirits to make all our decisions, but be cautious of over relying on the words of someone else before you trust your own self. You may be annoying your ancestors with too many questions. You don't want to do that. Use discretion on how often to get readings. This can vary based on the information provided. The individual, y'all, things just keep flying across my face. I keep feeling something rub on my leg, and I'm like, Lord, what is that? I need to wait at wait a minute. Wait. Use discretion on how often you get readings. I used to have a subscription to my readings. I used to have a subscription option to my readings, right? Oh, words really been fucking me up today. But I told people like, you could get X amount of readings, but don't try to get like, don't be like, okay, I need a reading. And then 2 days later, oh girl, this happened. Let me get a reading. No. Like maybe once a week. You know what I'm saying? That would be cute. That'd be good. Like at the beginning of the week. You know what I'm saying? And then that next reading that you get next week, you could ask for clarity of the things that happened in the last week and what's going moving forward. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't be like every day, oh, that's why I stopped doing spirit chats every day, because I was like, I saw a pattern that I was repeating some of the same things. So I was like, oh, spirit, these people just need to go do the work. And by these people, I meant myself too. Okay. Let's get it. Because I ain't got long. I'm just sitting here talking. Lord have mercy. Where we at? You don't want to do the use discretion on how often to get readings. This can vary based on information provided the individual, and if you are working towards a specific goal with your readings and spirit communication. I tend to wait at least a month or two between readings if I think I really need another one, but usually I receive them less frequently. See, she waits a month or two, but also Juju is a psychic. Spirit just be talking to her anyway. Okay? But if that's not your thing, like I said, if you're going through a specific moment in your life, you know what I'm saying? And you like, okay, I'm gonna do a 10 subscription with Vaughn, and I want her to, you know what I'm saying, do it bi-weekly, or every Sunday she drop a reading on me. to start my week, or every Saturday to end my week. However, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's okay when you're going through something specifically. I feel like it. But you know what I'm saying? Your own discretion. Trust your spirits. Trust your Ori. Higher self. Your head. Your mind. Okay? The next steps. There is not one way to channel information to hear from the ancestors. The first step is truly acknowledging that you have ancestors and that they have something to say. Whether you book a reading or seek to understand them for yourself first, the information will always present itself to you. This alone opens up the portals to better understand their modes of communication. For example, if your ancestors speak to you in dreams through flashes of images, you may benefit from using a dream journal that you write in when you wake up to channel whatever you remember or your current feelings. The next chapter will cover one physical way of giving your ancestors a portal through which to speak, creating altars. Okay, and that is chapter 10. We did it. Okay, how much time we been on? Oh, and we did it in about an hour, even with all of my constant ramblings. Yay me. Okay, so we're moseying right along. Now we ain't even moseying, but we're getting it. I'm excited about let's build ancestral altars. Yes. Okay. So yeah, we'll start this chapter Friday. Okay, we're not gonna start it. We're gonna start it and complete it because it's not long at all. So maybe if I could go live, but I don't be wanting to make my lives longer than an hour. So and it with all my chitter chatterings and stuff, sometimes it does take. But listen, y'all, this is all we got left. We getting through it. The book itself. How many chapters in this book? What's the last chapter? There's a conclusion. Okay, there's 15 chapters and a conclusion. So we're on chapter 11. So, oh my God, we got 5 chapters and a conclusion left, and then we're done. So yeah, we'll be done with this book by the end of next week. Probably before that. I really want to go ahead and, like I said, get through this book because Hoodoo Heritage Month begins October 1st. Shout out to Mama Rue. Okay. Who coined the phrase? I'm telling y'all, like, it's just little things that just keep floating by me. Who coined the phrase Hoodoo Heritage Month? It is during that month you're going to see all of the hoodoos, all of the black ass spiritualists, okay, like me, like Juju Bay, like Bless the Roads. Who else? These are all people you should go follow. Bless the Roads, the musical mystic, Chan, the musical mystic. What is this? Damn. What is Chan's IG? Music 2 Mystic. Yes. Music, the number 2, and then Mystic. Follow them. Papa Seer. Mama Yana. But she's over on Facebook. I haven't seen her on Instagram. It's just a whole lot of people. You're gonna see them ramping up and like really talking about ancestral veneration. We're going to be talking about the elders, people who are still living. Like, I consider Mama Rue an elder, you know what I'm saying? But I also consider the Queen Poa elder, you know what I'm saying? Age, remember, Juju Bay has taught us that elder does not mean that they're old. It means that they are wise and they know what they're talking about. And sometimes they are old. But the Queen Poa and I are the same age, but she is my elder in this. Juju Bay is a little younger than me. She's still my elder in this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we'll be like, and hopefully I can get my shit together and get a couple of lives going with more people like my good sis Devin and Glock that you've seen me go live with before, and some other people. I'm also during Hoodoo Heritage Month, which is so awesome. Don't forget that 𝑗ujubee will be in Georgia. She'll be in the A. Okay. It's also Spell House that weekend, which is Spelman and Morehouse Homecoming. Spell House Homecoming. So there's a lot going on. But most importantly, October 25th, 𝑗ujubee will be at Yes Please Books. Okay. And so will I. If you're looking for the flyer, it is in it's on my post on Instagram, and 9 times out of 10 it's in my story. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for all of my ramblings. The books are open. And join me sometime before the full moon is over. So the full moon peaked yesterday. So we have until about Friday, okay, for this energy. So I will be I'll probably go live sometime this evening. I don't know, y'all. I be trying to find the space and opportunity, but when I tell y'all I don't be having much because my son be doing his thing. I don't. And then by the time my son is done doing his thing, I'm tired. And I go to bed with him. But anyway, tomorrow morning, because I'm not reading. I'm not going to read the book tomorrow morning. Join me tomorrow morning and we'll do a spirit chat. I will make sure I post it. Okay? All right, yeah. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Peace.